Hey, we're back, preparing the Soviet Union for a war. We've just had our purge, and our units are in terrible shape, and I'm happy the Spanish Civil War is over, because if it wasn't, we would suddenly become quite useless. It was actually a good little civil war, as civil wars go. It was over in 9 months, maybe even less actually. Think about 6 months. And the Republican Spanish won, which means we won, technically, if we are to be counted. And I think we are to be counted. Oh god, look at all these bloody NKVD divisions. We'll stop. We'll pull the NKVD out of this guy's army group, because that's actually just sad as hell. And you can stop training. Which means that... Yeah. Army Group Center is now fully trained. We'll move on to Army Group North, because Army Group North is going to be fighting relatively soon. Right. We'll put you into the reserve. No, that's not the reserve. Into the Stavka reserve. And all of you need training. So train you shall. Very good. We're going to be reinforcing that army group, because it, again, will actually be fighting. And it looks like we've finished all of our naval orders, which is perfect, actually. Perfect timing. So, the Baltic Sea Fleet is 2 battleships, 2 old battleships, and 13 old destroyers. It's also got 28 submarines of varying qualities, but I would assume, if you wouldn't mind, there we go. Looks like we've got some good ones too. A bunch of old ones. Next up, Black Sea Fleet. 1 old battleship, 4 light cruisers, 8 submarines, of which half are half decent. And then finally we got the Far East Force, which is a throwaway. 2 destroyers, 12 submarines. I would sooner not have them, if I were concerned at all about manpower. But I am not. So, we have the ability to build virtually every class of ship. Let's talk about what we need them for. In the Black Sea, we are going to need them to ensure that the Romanian and Bulgarian navies don't gain control of the Black Sea and are able to land forces behind our lines. Oop, I don't know why the camera did that. We need it in the Baltic to basically fight the Kriegsmarine and stop them from doing the same. And we may need some in the Arctic to prevent that as well, or enable us to do that. So we might elect to build a small force in Arkhangelsk. So let's do that. We'll build 4 destroyers for Arkhangelsk. Should be good. Yeah, we'll start with that. That should take a while. We'll crack that down to 1 convoy. Again, hopefully this will be increased later. We may actually elect to build more dockyards. We may not. We shall see. The production, though, of military factories has been going extremely well, even though our production period is bad. Very bad, even. We're coming up. You can't stop the Soviet Union. In fact, I'm going right now to go to Arkhangelsk. Maybe we have some areas that are not so trash. Leningrad. I'm going to gamble that we're going to hold Leningrad. He says, not confident that he's going to hold Leningrad. And Rostov and Krasnodar. We'll get 4 more factories. And by factories, I mean dockyards. And there's the BT-7. Do we want to go into heavy tanks? No. I don't want any specialized light tanks right now. Infantry looks okay. A-okay. Support companies, we actually have the major important ones. Even military police, which most people don't have off the beginning. Anti-tank guns. Oh, you wouldn't do me dirty like this, but I don't need them right away. Do we not need them right away, though? Is that something that Comrade Stalin would have me do? No, Comrade Stalin says anti-tank gun. Outdated equipment. That would be the T-26. Welcome to BT-7 Town. Enjoy your lost production efficiency. Very good. Very good. All over the Soviet Union, people are rejoicing. that we suddenly have a large amount of military factories pretty much everywhere. Pretty much everywhere. It's going to be factories. We still don't have the tanks. That's really sad. That's okay. We don't need to be building units right now. We are in the hole. And even, you know, in the areas where we are not in the hole, we will be soon when we order the production of new units. Okay. You guys are not yet trained, but you will be. You guys are not yet trained. Neither are you. I guess we are training some tank divisions here. That's going to drain. But that's how it's got to be, I guess. Local man is worried about the Finns, and he should be. The Finns are no joke. Wait a flippin' minute. We do have a force up here in the Barrens. Local man is an idiot. Be the Severnia Flot. We'll actually just build a couple of them. I think we might need to reinforce the Black Sea Fleet. I'm going to decide. I want to reinforce it in a meaningful way. In a way that I can be certain we're going to beat the navies of the little countries should we run into them. So I will order 1 light cruiser to bring us up to 5, I believe. And I will actually order the construction of a battle cruiser. Because one thing that I would like to have down there is the ability to chase down routers. I want to win battles and chase down the people who flee from them. So we're going to add that to the Black Sea Fleet, even though it's a relatively bad battle cruiser. Hindenburg disaster, not good. Positive heroism, good. We'll take that cult. I want that progress. We're working our way towards better political power, but it's happening slowly. Having high stability, though. I like it. I like it a lot. Construction going well. Production of boats not going particularly well. Production of aircraft going even worse. It'll be so good to be through most of those rifles. Oh man. I think big brained Fang is actually going to grow a little bit in the old brain department and order an increase in the production of some of these key units. Yes, these are key units in that particular order. Good. Good, good. We're going to have to import more rubber, which saddens me immensely. Nobody likes importing rubber. Not the least of all me. Let's do a quick survey of the world. What you up to, Japan? Marco Polo Bridge incident. Cool, that war's breaking out soon. Poland is doing Poland stuff. Germany is doing treaty with us. That could be fun. Leve en masse, encourage colonial elite, and Italy is modernizing their artillery. We will be meeting them, no doubt, deep in the Soviet Union. Italian divisions. Should be fun. For no one. Oh, all these light tanks. I don't like it. We will be replacing some of the light tank battalions in the mechanized corps with medium. So fear not on that account. And we won't be just adding the medium tanks, we'll be replacing light tanks. Looks like we're up to 5 in terms of army experience. Let's pause, and they're not done. I don't mind running them a little bit longer, even the units who don't need them. You guys aren't done? Keep training. Who are we gonna do next? Presumably Army Group South. Caucasus Front, you may begin training. The Caucasus should be quiet. Like, very quiet. I will not be adding to that force, in all likelihood. I may even opt to bring the mountain divisions out of it, because they're pretty good. Oh no! Amelia Earhart. No. No. There's Stavka. There's Stavka. If I remember correctly, these two bottom tank divisions belong in the Leningrad front. Yes, yes, I was right. And the Leningrad front is done, with the exception of the dumb NKVD divisions, which nobody likes and should not be assigned to you. That's the Mongolian army. What I meant to do is put them here. I think I will take our seasoned Spanish veteran divisions and put them in the Leningrad force, and I'll send them straight to Leningrad. And you can stop training now that you are all trained up. We'll order Zhukov's massive Ukrainian force to do exactly that. But any division that is fully trained will not be part of it. We'll stick you in the Stavka Reserve. Good. Very good. We're going to work our way towards that research slot, and Japan is kicking it off. And a lot of things are kicking it off. So, this is the historical event where Chiang Kai-shek got, I believe, well, how about I just read it? Mao Zedong has sent a message saying that the communists have the unique opportunity to put Chiang Kai-shek on trial for the crimes against the people of the revolution. Executing him would be a huge victory for the Communist Party in their struggle for leadership in China. However, it would also weaken the nationalists at a critical moment, perhaps allowing the Japanese to make further progress in China. Another one bites the dust. Or, he is still needed. He is still needed. This is the historical line. So, Chiang Kai-shek got, actually, historically speaking, this event happened, and he was arrested by people who had invited him to a peace conference. And, again, yeah, the communists wrote to the Soviet Union and said, hey, should we let him go, or should we execute him? Actually, they said, should we execute him? And someone was like, no, no, please no. As far as he was concerned, at this point, the nationalists were a much more important force for opposing the Japanese. So he offered them considerably more support than he offered the Chinese Communist Party. Anyway, that's irrelevant. Yeah, sure. So, that whole treaty thing I just signed. Good lord, stop spamming me. Like I said, that treaty I just signed has given us access to some interesting tank research, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yeah! So we can go ahead on medium tanks. So we should research those in 1939. We're going to research them now. Excellent timing. Marco Polo Bridge incident. Cool, cool, cool. What's this? I don't think so. Unless, I mean, that's pretty good, but also no. Very good. So the officer's purged penalty is going to get progressively lowered until it becomes nothing. This is like highly good for us because the purge is highly bad for us. And you can see why I wanted it out of the way quickly. Because it's absolutely debilitating? It's that. Anyway, we got our theorist, Zhukov. Yes, Tukharevsky died. Tis Zhukov. We want the army experience. Oh god, he costs 250. What a goof. Guess we'll wait then. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was checking you. You are indeed done. You're done cooking. You guys, in fact, all of you can go to the Stavka Reserve. Perfect. You guys who are trash. Is there any more of them? Nope. This trash gets trained. I believe I ordered Zhukov to train. Apparently not. There we go. Right, so, the purge. It occurred. The effects of it are slowly scaling down. We have taken that treaty with Germany, and it looks like we have actually reached equilibrium for our infantry equipment. We're upgrading a bunch, but like that's very, very good news that that has occurred. We're going to continue to build up like a huge amount right now, because we're going to throw it all away very quickly for training those Streltsy Corps. In fact, we can make another change. I think how I want to do this is I want it eventually to look like that. In fact, what I eventually want to do it, if I might show you all, is have it look something like that. Or to make it 40, I guess I would do that. 40 combat width, Streltsy core. For now, I guess we'll have to put up with just adding an artillery. Yeah. We're going to be training a lot. And hopefully Zhukov is going to help when we can finally get him into office with our political power, which will happen at some point, hopefully. Recruitable population, 3% is huge. Like, it's actually massive, and it's going to help us not take draconian manpower laws early. In fact, it might be the case that we never take draconian manpower laws because we don't have to. But that's a pipe dream, I recognize that. Let's start the Far East training. They could use it. And we might as well do it now that we have the guns. Mongolian army, you will train as well. Beautiful. They actually have some mountaineer divisions in the Far East. We will plunder those, no questions asked. We will plunder the hell out of those. Yep. Now, the thought might occur to some of you, why don't you take the Far Eastern fleet and sail them all the way around? They don't have the range to do that. Like, the ships aren't considered to have the range for that. So we either disband them or keep them there. And I don't mind keeping them there because, again, like it's not actually costing us anything that we're concerned with. So we got anti-tank artillery. I'm going to consider getting anti-aircraft artillery too. Might be worth having, but it's not an urgent consideration. Construction, though, that's worth having, like, immediately. We're not quite there for computing machine. We could start with doctrines. We should research tactical bomber, because we're still producing pre-war terrible designs. Interwar DB3s. And it looks like the new factories are starting to be assigned as I want them to be. These tanks are coming along slowly. That number will drop considerably when we put the mediums in. In fact, that's what our next bit of army experience is going to be. We're going to put a medium tank division as a replacement for a light tank division. Socialist science, done. Research slot, done. And then we'll start going into the dedicated manufacturing path. Or maybe even the reorganized army path. Oh, gross. Yeah, I know. It's all about that rubber, which we don't have access to. And this tank division, as much as I hate to say it, can get trained. Yeah. It's the Far East and the South. I don't mind overtraining these guys a bit now that we have the guns. In fact, now that we have the guns, let's deploy a bunch of these new Streltsy cores. We'll make one more edit since we have the experience. Apparently I lied. We're not going to... yeah, there we go. Apparently I lied. We're not going to wait and put it into the tank division. We'll just do this now. We'll start building up that 4th division. Well, these are brigades. We'll call them divisions because it's a corps. And we'll start training them. We're going to train 8 of them. We're going to put them in Yaroslavl. And these ones are going to get named. So, if you have not suggested a name for a division yet, this is the point where you suggest. These are going to be permanent units. They're going to be big divisions, so you can expect them to stick around. We'll follow their progress, and if you want to name them, name them. In fact, I think I'm going to take the initiative and name a couple of them. This is going to be called the Disease Central Division in honor of the colony that we lost in RimWorld. And this is going to be called the Marcos Division in honor of Marcos, the great general then field admiral of our Byzantine playthrough. Anyway, let's get on to things. This is not the end of the episode, but I do urge you to pause the video now and offer a suggestion if you wish. Let's check up on Germany. What are they up to? Coal liquefaction. In synthetic industries, that is to say synthetic oil and rubber, is something that's going to be important to them. The AI tends not to prioritize it as highly as I do, because access to resources is actually more powerful than just being able to produce things at their optimum level. If you can take it to the point where you're producing so much you can use the free trade law, that shoots up your industrial and research efficiency hugely. And that's very, very valuable. France, Chal de Bataille. We've got general rearmament. We've got claims on Yugoslavia. Do it, ya coward. I dare ya. Carrier warfare experiments. Man, I like carrier warfare. I can't wait to try that out in the new expansion that comes out at some point. Well, maybe ever. Oh, here's a cheap way of ensuring that we get some of them supplies. Xinjiang, are you at war? No. But you're mob boys, aren't you, Xinjiang? Probably. Oh, it doesn't matter so much. Mongolia is our bad boy, though. Xibei Sanma is at war. Was I wrong? Was Xinjiang at war? Yeah, Xinjiang is at war. Let us, then... What's your deets, member? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we'll send you some Lend-Lease. We'll send some guns. Oh, I forgot we don't have any guns, because we put them all in the hands of those new units. We'll get around to that at some point. I'm sure. Maybe. We'll see. You guys are important. That's all I have to say about you. Are we building that second Streltsy unit? Or not Streltsy, mech? No. Screw that, dog. We don't need this other milk. You know what? How about I just shut up? And don't talk. That would be nice. Okay, I'm talking now. I can't shut up. Okay, Xinjiang. Lend-Lease. I'm going to give you 1,800 of these guns. And I can send them because you're a neighbor. You can just send them over the border, you'll get them immediately. We're sending them guns, not only to fight the Japanese, but because they will give us army experience in small numbers if we do that. Oh, I'm so tempted, by the way, to send a attaché, because that would also provide us with some more. Let's just show you. Army experience. And that would be nice. And they will receive division organization and planning speed. That would be nice for them, too, I imagine. They're getting army reform, which, you know, they need. Hey, we got that research slot. We're a big boy now. We're a big boy. We're exactly what we should be. We don't have the boy yet, so we're not going to do that. Huh. Huh. I think it may be time to research the next destroyer. We'll be building them. Did we rehabilitate the military? That's good. That oh, we can't take lessons of war yet. But we will take rehabilitated military. I want that army XP. Army XP is extremely valuable to us for, you know, reasons that are obvious but also dubious. Again, like, we're overtraining these guys? I'll deal. We got the equipment, which is shocking to me. Although we are sending it out. Shibei Sama, I know for a fact you are at war. You got some divisions. I'm gonna send you some guns. I'm gonna send you 1,800 guns, if you don't mind. There you go. And next up, China is getting that hot infusion of gun. And hopefully they will actually arrive in China. Talented new officers. Very good. Happy about the purge recovery. It's always so sad when you have to purge people. You don't look. Purge completely unnecessary. That's my argument anyway, and I'm sticking to it. I think I'm going to wait till I've got about 10,000 guns and then send them. Where are we at? Civilian factories. Okay. Well, I'd say it's time for another hot infusion of factory. This is Moscow. Crank up the factories, dog. Stalingrad, crank them up. I know Leningrad can get cranked up on them factories. Let's go. You always need more factories. There comes a point in the late game where you don't need more factories. Ignore me. How's our Lend-Lease going? It's going. It'll get there at some point. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Very good. It's those NKVD divisions, man. Like, they're actually terrible. They're so awful that I don't like them. I'll tell you that for free. This Stavka reserve has been getting kind of big, actually. I think I will elect to transfer some of these units out. To perhaps, that's one too many, send them to the Leningrad front, because the Leningrad front will be fighting at some point. And I think we need to send some boys to Karelia. Very good. Send you up there. You can be put to use at some point. Oh yes. So, I don't know if you noticed with socialist science, we went from... Oh well, we're not even done yet. But we went from like 1.63 million to 3.38 million available manpower, like pretty much immediately. So, a focus has taken us, like, well, I mean, volunteer is 1.5, conscription 2.5, and then extensive is 5.0. We got 3.0 free conscription from a focus. Like, highly good. Very highly good. As much as I will harp on repeatedly throughout this series, the fact that you don't really need to go crazy into conscription because you have a huge population, it can't hurt to get a bunch free manpower. Cool, reinforce rate and recovery rate. We're going to need recovery rate. That will be highly important, and we're 6 days away from having Zhukov. Okay, Anschluss has occurred. February 1938. How did it get so far? How did we allow it to get so far? But hey, we got tanks. And we could go crazy into research. We could also build specialist tanks, but we're not in a position, I think, to do that right now. Are we in a position to upgrade our weapons? Yeah, in a way we are. We'll start focusing on these qualitative, non-production related upgrades. So, how many more factories do we have allocated? 4 more, and then we will construct medium tanks, precursors to T-34s. We'll start construction, and we'll also start construction of towed anti-tank guns. We've got factories coming out. We'll actually increase the rate at which they're coming out. Or the total amount that are coming out, I ought to say. One more for Stalingrad? You shouldn't have. How is our naval production now? Cool, we built the light cruiser, we built the destroyers, we're building the Borodino class battle cruiser. It'll be done relatively soon, actually. And we are researching destroyers, I believe, so we'll follow that thing up with some destroyers, and then we'll focus on the Black Sea Fleet, and by Black Sea I mean Baltic. Hopefully, and I think this is a very reasonable hope, when Germany goes to war with the Allies, they will have their navy put on the bottom to a large degree. So controlling access to the approaches of Leningrad with our fleet should not be difficult. Again, it is the Black Sea Fleet that I actually think is the greatest danger to us. And a battleship and battle cruiser down there, Like, that should do it for surface combatants. Beyond that, submarines. And for that, we are getting our new destroyers. We can also use our submarines, hopefully, to leverage quite an advantage in terms of, like, actually just blowing up people's supplies. That would be highly amusing to me. Also, it'll be nice to have proper medium bombers, although we are not producing many. We have started the production of aircraft in a serious way. Relatively serious way, I suppose. Close air support is something that we will need a fair amount of. Guess who needs more rubber? That'd be this guy. I'm happy so far with how this is going. Not happy that I forgot to turn off all of these guys. We're going to stop training for a while. Yes. The good news... Oh, I missed that one, apparently. The good news is that our entire army is trained up to regular. The bad news is that our entire army is not actually completely useful at present. They're just not very, qualitatively good. I mean, qualitatively good. Quantitative sense, they're quite big. But, like, the German army is going to be bigger than the force we have right now. So we're going to have to increase in size by quite a large amount. SB2Ms are coming out now. We can retask onto research. We don't need to research 1940 era aircraft yet. Oh, we can hire Zhukov. Might be. I missed about 12 days worth of 0.05 daily army experience. Zhukov, welcome to the party, dog. Pocket defense. Pocket sand. I'm going down the traditional Soviet military doctrine tree, not because it's good, because it's not, but because I said I would be relatively faithful to reality. So there we go. 10 experience. It is time that we make that change to the mechanized units. Yeah, we'll just do 1. There we go. So that will immediately drop down our need for light tanks, and immediately crank up our need for medium tanks, as you might expect. And we'll use the other one to change this. Yeah. We'll add another artillery. We'll make this look better in a bit. But for now, that's what we're doing. We actually have a lot... Oh, Christ. I said I would give China a bunch of guns. China! Let's send you a lot of guns. I will send you 10,000 guns, and hopefully they make it to you. Next up, production. I think we can crack this down to 3. I want, the same large amount of artillery. Oh boy, we're going to need more support equipment. Like a lot more support equipment. In fact, let's begin a heavy stockpiling of support equipment right now. Light tanks, we're fine. Motorized, we'll need a bit more. We'll deal with aircraft in a second. We'll need a lot of medium tanks, and towed artillery is a bit of a joke. Increased production of fighters. Increased production of tactical bombers. Good. China's accepted our lend-lease. Very nice. Very nice. And the factories are still piling out. We got 20 free military experience. Get that armament effort, finish out that little line. And I think the last thing we'll do with this episode is do that final upgrade to the Streltsy division. Let's start moving these around. That is artillery, that is artillery, that is infantry, that is infantry. We're back to 0, we'll save that. We'll make this artillery and make this infantry. So we got 15 points to play it with, which is perfect because it allows us to do that. So we're up to 44 combat width. We are going to go higher, I decided. In fact, let's make this a little bit crazy in order to find out if what I'm thinking is even possible. 55. We're almost at 60, but I'll bet that if we do this, 54, 55, 59. Well, I mean, we can put more artillery there, actually. Yeah. So we'll do this for now, but in the future... Well, actually, no. Screw the future. We'll do this right now. We'll make all of these artillery. Okay. Yeah, and then in the future we'll just add more artillery. And we will actually be able to get up to 60 combat width. It's totally possible. And right now it's getting the artillery icon, which is kind of funny. Looks like we will in fact need more artillery to be produced. Big surprise. Let's go down to 5s. You'll go to 5 5s, you'll go to 5s, and you'll be 5 of those 5s. Lots of 5s. Cool. Very cool. Yeah, we just had enough artillery to do that. That's fine. And I don't mind a big rifle stockpile. As you can see, we can just throw them at countries we want to have rifles. In 10 days, they will receive those rifles. I think they will probably just path through the allied countries that are also at war. And we'll start getting huge supplies, I think, of combat experience from China. Hopefully, we'll see. Maybe. Anyway, I think the video is going to end on that note. We're very close to having these new units pop out in like 2 days. Let's wait for those 2 days and then end the video. What a guy. Bang, they're out. Right? Right? They're out. Okay. And Ryazan, the 8 of our new Streltsy Corpus, would you please stop? Get into Stavka. We've got these new units to distribute and put into combat. 2 of them are named. They are the Marcos Division and the Disease Central Division. If you want them named, into the comments you shall type. I will catch you in the next episode.